Welcome back, guys. Me Said Ali Yashar from Computer Science for Self-Taught. This is the continuation of our previous tutorial. If you jump suddenly to this video, make sure that you watch our previous video. In this video, we will download that image by using the do in background method. It is background trade. So we have the URL and we need to get the URL and start downloading an image. So the first thing we need to do is we need an HTTP URL connection. HTTP, sorry about this, URL, HTTP connection, and we initialize this to null for now. And another thing we need to create an instance of it is input stream, because we are gonna get the data from the internet by using this input stream, and also initialize it to null. And another thing we need to create is instance of file. It will be the address that the image is going to be stored. So I say SD card path and I initialize this null. And another thing we need to create is file output stream. By using the file output stream, we are gonna write to the storage. File output stream for writing, file input stream for reading, and initialize this to null. So in here we will create a connection to that link that you have set inside the URL. So in here I say HTTP connection equals to params index 0, okay, dot open connection. First it gives us errors because there may be a problem with the link that you have provided to the do in background, so we need to put this inside try catch, and it returns us an URL connection, so we need to cast it to HTTP URL connection. So in here I say HTTP URL connection, and again we need to get the data. So we say HTTP connection dot get input stream. As you can see, it returns an instance of the input stream. We will initialize that and we will put that resource inside the input stream. So again we need to get the length of that image by using the HTTP connection. HTTP connection dot get content length. Okay, get content length. Make sure that you choose the int version. If you choose the get length long, it's going to an integer value in the form of long variables. So as you can see, we have initialized these two variables which is of type integer, so we call this get content length and we store that image length. So another thing we need to do is we need to get an address from our internal storage so that image can be downloaded there. So in here I say SD card path equals to, and I use the environment class to return that path of storage so that image can be downloaded here. So I call environment.get external storage public directory. So we need to tell where we want to store that image, to which folder. So I use the environment class and environment dot, and I need to store it inside the download folder. There are many folders so you can store the image there, so I choose the download. It returns a file, so we need to get the absolute path so that we can change the name of that file. Get absolute path, which returns an string. Since we have the address in the form of a string, we need to name that image. So I say inside the download folder, and I use the URI class. URI, make sure to use URI, not URL in here. URI.parse. So I need to cast that URL into a string dot value of. So I get the params value from index 0, give me the length of that image. So again we need to call the get last path segment. So I need to break this from here. URI.parse string dot value from params. So in here I said get last path segment. Okay. Segment is nothing but, if I show you with the values in here a string, the value which are separated by these forward slashes are called segment. This is one segment, this is another segment, and this is the last segment. This is the name of that image. So we need to get this image dynamically and give this name to that downloaded image. So I call the get last path segment, which is nothing name of that image. So in here it gives us error because it is the form of a string, so we need to put this inside the file class. I include that brackets here. Once we have the reference of that download directory where our image is going to be stored in here, so we need to give the address to the output stream. File output stream, it requires an instance of file, so we will pass the SD card path to this. So in here I'm going to use while loop to download our image. The first thing we need to do is I need a variable read data, which gives us how much of that image is downloaded. And also I create an end byte about this data equals to new. Sorry, I need to transform this into byte, new byte, and I give it a 1024 MB. If the read data is not equals to -1, I mean if the image hasn't reached to the end, so it start downloading. So in here I use the input stream and I call the read data method. As you can see, it can read 1 byte at a time and it can read many bytes at a time. So in here I need to read many bytes at a time. The input stream is going to read that image, I mean the percentage which have been downloaded, and going to store that inside a data variable and return how much byte is read. So we need to store that inside the read data. This is where we will check how much of that image is downloaded. In here I say read data equals to read data plus, sorry about this. So we need to store that inside the downloaded variable which I have created earlier in here. Okay, image length. In here I say downloaded size equals to downloaded size plus read data. So we are going to pass this read data to the publish progress, and that shows this much of image has been downloaded. I call the publish progress and I pass the downloaded size in here, and I use the output stream and I call the write method. You can write 1 byte at a time, many bytes at a time. You can write till the end of that byte. So I pass the byte, this data in here, the data from this variable from index 0 up to the read data. The input stream has filled this data array as 100 bytes. Start writing from 0th index up to that 100th index. And another thing, you must also check that there may be a chance that the user may cancel the download operation while the image is downloading. So how you can do that? If and call the is cancel, it's going to return a boolean variable. If the image has cancelled, so it's going to return a true. It has been cancelled, so we need to break it. So if you close your app, still the activity has been destroyed, but the async task which is downloading the image is not destroyed. So it's going to be destroyed when it finishes the download operation. So this is how we can check that if the user is cancelled or not. Whenever the user cancels the download operation, instead of on to execute, on cancel gets called. So this is where we will tell the user that the image has been cancelled or the download operation has cancelled. So let me check if we forget anything in here. So the image is going to be written, and then we call the publish progress, so it's going to update our progress. That's it. So another thing, so it's going to pass the downloaded side to the on progress update, and inside the on progress we will check how much of that image has been downloaded. So it's going to pass that inside the values, I mean an array, and I'm going to get that downloaded size and I divide it to the downloaded size. I mean it is the length of that image. Sorry, and here I have to get the image length, not the downloaded size. Okay, image length. It's going to divide the downloaded size to the image length and then multiply it by 100, which is the max size of our progress bar, and then cast this to integer and pass this to the update progress bar, which is going to update our progress bar by that percentage. Whenever the user opens the app, and if the save instance in the state is not null, so it's going to create that fragment. Whenever user rotates the screen, so the saved instance state will not be null, so it's going to execute the else part. And in here we also tell the user, and we have to check that my fragment.myasync tasks, we need to make this public so that we can access them in here. My async task is not null, and also my fragment.myasync task and get status, the status is also running. The user rotates the screen and the async task is not null, and also the async task is in the running state. So we are gonna show in the case that image downloaded or not. So I use the relative layout and I call the set visibility to the visible. And make sure that you also call the if the async task is not null. If you do not write this part of code, whenever the download has finished and you rotate the screen from the portrait to the landscape, so the async task is not null. So this operation evaluates to true. So again you can see the visibility of that progress bar. So in here I check that if it is in the running state or not. If it is in the running state, then on that time visible or show the progress bar to the user. So listen and see the operation with your own eyes. Let me click run. And let me bring the progress bar in here. Let me rotate this. And also I almost forgot that make sure that you write the internet permission and also the storage permissions, because this is an operation that's going to use the internet, and also it's going to store that image inside the internal storage of your phone. So make sure that you write them like this. If I open my application, and if you face any problems, that is where you didn't provide the runtime permission. With the new versions of Android, you need to provide runtime permission. So if you face any problem, make sure you go to settings, go to the apps. So from apps, find your app. So the name of my app is my application, the name of my package. So I need to scroll down. Okay, this is my application. Let me see if the permission is given or not. So I've already practiced too many times so that I can give you an easy tutorial on async tasks. So the storage permission has been given. If I uncheck this and if I click on this download image, so the app is going to crash. So the image, it tells that the image is downloaded. It tells lies because the image hasn't been downloaded. If I go to the download folder, because this is where we stored our downloaded image. Okay, if we go to the storage and to the external shared storage and going to the image, sorry about this, so we need to back and let's go to other, click explore, and this is the folder for our downloaded image. So you see there is no images downloaded. That's why whenever you click on your app, so it's gonna tell you live that the image has been downloaded. You can see there is no indication how much of that image is downloaded. You need to provide runtime permissions. If you didn't provide runtime permissions, make sure that you come in here, come to settings and back, go to the internal storage and go to the apps. Here find your application. This is the application. So now I click on my application and permission is not given, so I'm going to set the permission to the storage. So again, if I go to my app, also this one, so if you observe the download folder, if I come in, there is no image. So as soon as we click the download image, that image is going to be downloaded and it shows the indication of that image. You see, the image is downloaded so fast because I'm using a 4G internet. That's why it's going to download it. So I'm going to pause a little of the download operations so that you can observe that. The while method, I call the system clock sleep to 150 milliseconds. So the reason I didn't use the thread.sleep because it's going to make a little complexity in here because it's going to be surrounded with try and catch. If you are in the industry, do not put the download operation to sleep. Okay, so the reason that I put that in sleep because the image will be downloaded so fast, it is less than MB. Almost forgot that if you open those connections, make sure that you also close them. Inside the finally, make sure that you close each of them. Okay, the first one is HTTP your collection. Make sure that it is not null, then disconnect it. And also the file output stream if it was not null, so close the output stream. And it also, we need to surround it with try catch. And we also need to check that if the input stream is not null, so then close the input stream. And also we need to surround this with try catch. Okay, because it's like a pipe that is connected to the tank. If you leave the tap open, so you are gonna waste water. So in here, if you do not close them and if you do not disconnect them, so you are gonna miss a lot of resources. So if we go back to our application, so whenever I click the 7 image and click the download image, so you see image has been downloaded. So we need to rerun this again because I didn't put the background thread to sleep. This is where we get this error. So I'm going to delete these images. Let's go back to our app. Okay, now where I click the download, you see the indication of that download. As soon as we rotate the screen, so sorry about this, so you see the image has been downloaded. If we go to download folder, you will find out that image has been downloaded. So as soon as we rotate the screen, this progress bar won't get destroyed. So as soon as we click the download, let's rotate the screen. You can see, bam, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Still, you get the indication of that image that has been downloading by the background thread. So this is how you can use fragments to do your work and make it easy for you. And you're gonna tell the async task activity is destroyed. So whenever you rotate the screen, onAttach gets called. Okay, the onAttach gets called and it's going to get that instance which the fragment is attached to that activity. So it's going to that instance of activity and we store that inside the context, and we also tell the async task if the async task was not null, then on that time set the context. So the async task has the right to know that which activity is now created or which activity is in train that I can update it. So this is the code. If you don't understand it, make sure that you write that part of code by using this number. Okay, if you have a problem in here, so write your problem like I do not understand the line 55 or anything like that. Make sure that you put your suggestions, your comments for making these tutorials easy for you guys so that you can understand them. This is the end of using async tasks to download your image from the background thread. So in the next video we will see that if we will use the async task loader bootloaders to download the image instead of using my async task. So we will see you guys in the next video, and we will see if I create another video on async task or not. Either I will create a tutorial about async task loader or a new tutorial. So guys, happy coding, and may you squash all the bugs along your way. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, have fun learning, and make sure that you check out my next video.